Okay, simply this. We'll start really, really simple. And it's first, thank you for taking the time to speak with me. It is a pleasure. So starting with you first, Candy, then, how are you at the moment?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Just had a busy day at work, so just had a kids' dinner and now I'm here.
There it is. There it is. And how about you, Sam? How you doing?
I'm all right, thanks. Yeah, yeah. A bit tired. It's nearly bedtime, I feel.
Should note that we're both in the same country, so it is only 8 o'clock here. But yeah, no, I get you. I get you. Um, of course, we are less than 1 week. Well, technically 7 days, but if we're doing it by time list, and 1 week away from the release of your debut EP, Null Void, out Tuesday, 23rd of April. 2024. So individually, starting with you first, Candy, what does it mean to get this EP out?
I mean, yeah, it means something. It's been, a good couple of years really in the making. This is it. So it's something that we sort of created the music and then went, what do we do with it? So it's quite exciting to put it out there and to finally sort of in some ways, get it off your plate because we've got new music that we're now like excited about. But it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It'll be nice.
How about you, Sam?
yeah, I feel like it's exciting time because it's tying a bow on like this time period.
Mhm.
It just takes us back to a certain period of time where we were just forming the band and we didn't really know what it was going to be.
Mm.
I think it comes through on the EP. It's like a lot of experimenting and just finding our feet. And it was quite a nice time, really, where we weren't sure if it was going to, become what it is now, like, or be played live or whatever. So it's nice that it's come together and it's a full product now of like, a cohesive piece of work that we can tie a bow on and shows people.
Was the plan always to put an EP out? Because obviously several of the tracks are available. People have heard them over and over again. Um, so what did you just think? Okay, we need to have a body of work out. We need to collect these all and put them into one release. Was that why you decided on an EP, or was there ever really a chance that it could have been bigger? Could have been an album?
Yeah, we just went and recorded our favorite like 5 ideas of songs. There were some more kicking about, and we
Hmm.
weren't sure if it's going to be an EP or whether it was just going to be we put out one song and the rest of it's for us to listen to as an experiment, really. So it wasn't the plan, but as time went on, it kind of made sense to put it out like that.
Yeah, I think doing an album, the thing that especially for your first release, doing an album, like when you're still trying to figure out what your sound is and figure out, what you want to say, I guess at that point as an artist, it feels a bit too soon. It feels like for us, we're still, like Sam said, we're tying a bow on it. We've got new music under wraps. We're still figuring out that side of us and still kind of experimenting with what we want to sound like and what we want to play with and what we want to say. So yeah, not an album, but an EP will be all right.
That's from the artistic point of view. I have to ask then, did you take into account over this period, this plan to put the songs in the EP and the singles originally, did you take into account how music's consumed these days?
Yeah, I think so. It's very common, isn't it, for like an album or an EP to come out and you've already heard most of the songs from it,
Yeah.
which is the case of this one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that drip feed. People want like a drip feed of content from a band, like regular singles rather than one thing and then you disappear for a few years. So
Mm.
it was just, yeah, it's definitely played into the planning of it, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's sort of a shame that idea of someone sort of waiting for music seems to have slightly died in the way that we consume things now. I think it just in general society just wants stuff now. And if you don't get it, then there's a plethora of other people that will put stuff out in your place. So I think there has to be that fine line as an artist in trying to, make a living out of it and also to be heard and get your music out there. There has to be that consideration, even though it's annoying.
Yes, you kind of have to play the game, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So the vision, and I guess for the music that would make up this EP, you said you selected the 5 best, 5 most creative, or the 5 that you enjoyed the most for this EP. Was it quite clear, vision-wise, for not just what you wanted the EP to sound like cohesively, but also as a showcase for Fake Your Death?
Ooh.
I think so, because there's a variety of different vibes in there. You know, I think like each track has like a different style to it, almost. It fits in with each other, but you know, like I could maybe pinpoint some influences across each track, you know, that come together to show a few different sides of us. You know, there's some real heavy stuff, and then there's some more like catchy stuff in there as well.
Yeah, and I think like visually we're both alternative people. Surprise, surprise. So I think like getting to explore that side of just being a bit more shocking and a bit more kind of, I don't know, dark, I guess, and a bit more horror was quite exciting, because previous projects that we've both been in haven't really gone as dark as this. So it's like a little thing that we've unlocked and now we're having fun with.
You feel like you're getting creative fulfillment?
Yeah, I feel so. I feel like you could always get more. That's the artist within us, always wanting to kind of push boundaries and stuff. But yeah, I think that there's still little itches that I don't think that I've scratched yet personally. What do you think?
Yeah, I get most creative fulfillment from writing the stuff, you know. But we're still early days, you know, there's still lots more to explore.
And presumably, as you said, you are exploring that at this point. You said this puts a nice bow on this particular period. There's also a great showcase, as you said yourself, of the variety within your sound. The idea that, hey, you never know what we're going to get from you. But across the 5 tracks, you do express a hell of a lot in these songs. Themes of depression, mental health, and heartache. I want you to talk to me about being open enough to do this, to speak about this, to sing about it, write about it, and so on. How do you get yourselves to a state of comfortability?
I think it's part of being a writer. I think if you're, you know, if you're not willing to open up the parts of yourself that are maybe not the nicest to talk about, or are not the nicest to explore, you know, that's why we write, isn't it? It's why we write. It's because we're all a little bit broken, and we, you know, it's a way to process feelings and to process things that happen around us, and to process those emotions. And I think that, you know, why not talk about it? Everybody has it. Everybody's a little bit fucked up. You know, we all, that's especially in heavier music, you know, that's why we've all ended up kind of being here, is because we're all little dirty teenagers in our room listening to sad music and wanting it to, you know, kind of be over. So I think that yeah, I think I just think that, you know, sharing is caring in that instance. I feel like it helps me as a writer to write about it and to process my own feelings and all the emotions that I have, and it's a nice way to connect, and really that's, you know, what we want from music. That's what it helps us do. It helps us to connect.
Is that something that's getting easier for you?
Yeah, I think so. I've been writing for a long time. You know, I've been writing songs for years, and this is definitely, like I said, a bit of a kind of darker side. I haven't touched on some of the themes in previous projects that I've done, that I've touched on in this band. But to be honest, it's freeing. If anything, it's more freeing to not have any boundaries on it. And it is getting easier. Obviously, there's the odd lyric every now and again. You're like, ooh. Still, you know, I still sometimes catch myself on stage where, you know, something sort of chokes me a little bit, or I'm a bit like, oh, fuck, that's a great lyric, but also, oh, but it's art. It's art, isn't it?
Sam, is it fair to say that there is no creative lines in the sand when it comes to what Fake Your Death can do at this stage?
Yeah, definitely. That, I think, is one of the beautiful things about it, is it doesn't have that many boundaries. And, you know, when we started it, there wasn't even any live drums on it. It was more of a, you know, a straight up electronic kind of project. And then we've kind of taken it live, and is no reason why. Yeah, it doesn't. The door's open to so many different possibilities. Like we're deliberately not using guitars and stuff, like, so, but there's a whole world of electronics to play with. And yeah, it's that these days though, like that's happening a lot, right? There's like bands, even like so many bands are blending like kind of pop and metal kind of aspects, you know. So yeah, it's a lot of possibilities.
Have you had, or are you expecting to eventually run into a person, being online or even in person, who, I don't know, takes the standpoint of the heresy of playing alternative music, but they're not being, you know, the traditional instruments, as it were?
It's a good question. It's a really good question. I've spent years and years playing in guitar bands and playing in, you know, traditional bands. Done it. I love listening to bands like that. It's some of my favorite bands. And this isn't that. This is something else. And I still do that as well in other times, you know. It's just that's what this project is. It's like, how can we make something a bit different, and try to make something a bit different and make something heavy without a low tune guitar. Like, can it be done? I don't know, mate. We're trying, you know. And yeah, there's not the traditional setup. And if we could afford to do more live instrumentation, like in terms of more live synthesizers, we do as much as we can. Like, yeah, sure, we'd have that too. You know, there's just two of us trying to make this work. But yeah, it's a good question, and I'm happy to answer anyone who or have a discussion with anyone about that, because it's not like we can't play or we're like against anything like that. It's just like, let's see what we can do with this, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a common misconception, isn't it, really, is that, like, you know, you're using electronics, so you can't play. But, you know, what I say to those people is, come watch us live then. Because, you know, I'm covering the job of two vocalists. Sam's doing, you know, two people's jobs while he's doing drums, and then setting up all the tracks and everything. And there is only two of us, so come watch us live. If you don't like the show, cool, have a lovely evening. If you do, all right.
Yeah, and I'm inspired by, like, with this project, there's like, if you look at like Crystal Castles or Death Grips, like Death Grips especially, they've got live drums, and you know, the rest of it is a DJ and the singer and stuff. And it's like, it's kind of, it's accepted in some places, you know, and especially in like the hip hop world and stuff as well. But it's more complex to have less people on stage, you know.
Plus, well, I mean, we've got plenty of bands who playing guitars and stuff like that. We don't need another one. If you don't like what you do, just go listen to something else. It's not difficult, really. So I'm a listener. I've not heard of you. I've not heard any of the singles, and I come to the EP. What do you hope people like myself or a listener will take from the entire EP experience?
I just hope it pricks their ears up and they're a bit shocked, maybe a bit, like, feel a bit uncomfortable, and they're like, what the hell was that? That's all I can really hope, that it has some kind of strong response, rather than just like, yeah, that's okay, you know, like it triggers some kind of strong response, whether that's positive or negative. Yeah.
Let's use the word uncomfortable. And I've read it a fair bit, like in press releases and the details sent over and stuff like that. And obviously it's a word that's, you know, tends to be used more in a negative connotation. Nobody wants to be made to feel uncomfortable, but you reference potentially feeling uncomfortable listening to this music. Explain that to me. Explain what you mean when you say you hope someone might feel a little uncomfortable listening to it.
I think, sorry, I'm just going to butt in here. I think for me, I think if someone feels uncomfortable, they feel something. I think that music can be like so many things. It can be such a product. It can be such a throwaway thing. And there is, in order for people to appreciate things, sometimes you have to feel uncomfortable. You have to, you know, feel and address things that you might not like or enjoy particularly. And it's an experience, put it that way. You won't forget it. But I think the reason that we go for uncomfortable is because there's an element of fun. I'm not gonna lie, there's an element of fun, especially when we're doing it live, of making people feel uncomfortable. But I think it's just making people feel. What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I can think I can think of, like, let's say, like, there's like a band like Nine Inch Nails. They've got so many lyrics and like vocal performances and harsh sounds that have made me feel uncomfortable. And it's just maybe like figuring out how that is being done, and just trying to channeling that. That's kind of, I think, what I mean when I describe it as being uncomfortable. Yeah.
Well said. Absolutely, it makes complete sense to me. You know, as well, nothing wrong with feeling some discomfort, particularly when it's something that's true, whether it be the spirit and energy that you're putting into the music, whether on a live stage or in a record, or something you're saying lyrically and so on. If it makes you feel something, that's all that matters. So creatively then, up to this point, individually, if you would, start with you, Sam. What have been some of the highlights of the creative process of Fake Your Death to this point?
Highlights of the creative process. I'd say just like when we got like the first recordings back, and we were like, wow, like, yeah, it kind of, we made that, you know, from nothing. There was nothing, and there was a conversation, and then there's this, you know, it was an idea, and it just came, and then it's come out, and it's a tangible thing now. I think the first time, like the first recording we did or whatever, I was like, wow, like that's definitely a highlight, and then it spurred me on to like keep creating stuff. Yeah.
Fantastic. What about you, Candi?
I think for me, it's been, I think the kind of progression of what we've done, you know, like playing, I guess, like playing Up Tangent and creating a show and doing some of the newer stuff, which no one has heard yet. I think for me, when I first started, I've been singing for years and years and years. I've always listened to heavy music, but I've never quite had the balls to go and figure out, you know, how to scream safely, really. So I think for me, it was more of learning a new instrument, and Sam giving me the time to creatively find my voice and to kind of hone my craft a bit more. So for me, hearing where we are now to where we've started, it's really exciting because we've got better. I think that's fair to say, is that we've got better, and yeah, it's nice, you know. We work really hard, we practice, we, you know, do all the things we should do. So it's nice to feel that way and to hear it.
Yeah, to see that you are making progress, not just as Fake Your Death, but also individually. So same question, we're going to flip it around to the challenge side of things. So again, over the entire creative process, we'll start with you this time, Candi. What has been some of the more, or a specific thing that's been particularly challenging for you?
For me, I think I can suffer with imposter syndrome quite a lot. I'm used to playing on stages with bands with, you know, guitarists and bassists kind of behind me, and I think figuring out how to fill that space by just myself and Sam, I think, you know, sometimes, like every performer, I've got in my own head, and I think it's been the biggest challenge has been picking myself up, dusting myself off, playing the next show, you know, and slowly kind of building that confidence. It's yeah, it's not something, it's something, you know, performance anxiety that people talk about, but I think it's really important to know that it doesn't matter how experienced you are, you know, everybody sort of gets it. So yeah, my biggest challenge is definitely my own head.
Hopefully, as the years go by, more releases drop and more shows are out of the way, it'll become a little bit easier.
Yeah, it already has a little bit, don't worry, I'm not like crying or anything.
Good. And how about you, Sam? Any particular challenge that you can look at?
I think it's just the challenge of how much it takes to do a band, even at this very small level. Just the investment of time and money and the energy when you're trying to work and everything. I know it just sounds boring, but just like still being able to get out there as we're getting older, and still just having the energy to try and get heard. There's just so many bands, and that's a good thing. I love listening to bands and stuff. There's just so much to sort of compete with, and yeah, just that general band life. Yeah.
Absolutely, I do completely understand. I mean, you said yourself at the start here, been at work, tired, Yeah, here we are sitting here at 8:20 doing this. I'm going to jump to what I was going to ask later because you kind of brought it there. So we're talking about the biggest challenges when it comes to getting people's ears on this EP. And the name of Fake Your Death into people's mouths. It is a challenge. You know it is. I know it is. What are you going to do? Or how are you going to try to overcome that challenge?
Good question.
Good question.
Good question.
Good question.
If I had the answer, I'd be a happy man. More great interviews like this with Carl.
Yeah, I think that you know, when we having people like yourself, you know, and people who will give us a platform is really helpful for us. You know, the industry really needs that, and it's you know, obviously thank you very much, but it's yeah, it's really important to do that. I think, you know, we've got a live set that's going alongside with the EP, so we've got a full live video of the entire set to go along with it. So I think that that's something that we're hoping people will be able to understand the band a little bit more. When they watch it, they can see us and go, oh, I get it. I get it. And it kind of gives them another insight, another element. So just sort of basically spamming everybody with that until they hate it. That's the plan.
That's all you can do. You've got to you just got to shout as loud as possible, as much as possible, whether people like it or not. But of course, it's not just the EP release date that's super important. Thursday, the 25th of April is another important date, a special EP release show at Blondies in London. So please correct me if I'm wrong, right? But you're from Brighton, right?
Yeah.
But you live in London? Otherwise, why is it in London?
That's another good question.
Good question.
Another good question.
I think we play London. We've probably played London more than Brighton, and we just have quite a good reception there. And we know we'll hopefully have some folks coming out there. You know, maybe more so than here. We played here recently as well. So yeah, we just thought we'd do it then.
Yeah, I think that Blondies as well is a very cool venue, you know, for that kind of music. And I think, I don't know, we've been playing here for years. I think that Brighton's great, but I think we just wanted to try something different, see if it works.
No, I just thought I'd maybe missed something there. I'm a Londoner, so of course you should come to London. It's like the capital city. It's where everybody comes. This is, you should be playing all the time. Try and sum up if you can what I would expect. I'm going to that show and I've never seen you live. What would I be treated to?
We're doing what we can to make a more like an immersive experience above just a band on a stage. So we've got like a light show, and you know, we there's a continuous stream of music without a break, basically. So it's just like full force, us kind of giving it everything for half an hour.
I sort of want you to walk out afterwards and just sort of look at your mate and go, what the fuck was that? That's what we can gift you. That moment with your friend of, I don't know what I just saw. Like, I'm not sure if I like it. Hopefully I do. But it's a talking point, and it'll be a night you won't forget for some reason.
Or everything you've listed so far says there'll be many, many reasons. And of course, this period of time, we look forward beyond the EP release, beyond that show, towards the remainder of 2024 into 2025. I'm not going to ask you what you're doing and break it down for me. It's not fair on you. I simply want to know, is the plan to be as busy as humanly possible?
Oh, God. Yes?
Yeah. Like, we like playing shows, and we like playing with bands that we like and making friends. So we want to get out there, play some more gigs with bands we like, and just keep it rolling.
That's it. That's all I want to hear. Keep it rolling. Okay, this is Ozzy Osbourne, and in his head, I'll randomize cards of everything and everything, all in the name of fun, as well as many submissions from other bands and artists we've spoken to over the years. The basic idea is I pull them out at random, and you take turns answering them, if you would not mind. Okay, we'll start with you, Candi. If your life had a theme song, what would it be?
Oh, God. What would my life say song?
Like the Benny Hill theme tune.
Yeah, probably. That probably would be. Yeah. What's that one? It's like the fairground ride theme tune.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. I know it, but I don't know what it is.
That banger.
Whatever that banger.
That's sort of what my head.
I look forward to a future song where you sample that in some way and utilize it into your set. Okay, this one will only count if you've seen it, but it does seem to a lot of people have. So Sam and Candi, by all means, feel to answer if you if you have an opinion. Do you have an opinion on the final season of Game of Thrones?
I haven't seen it.
Yes, I do. What a load of shit. That's it. I feel like they owe me hours of my life back.
There it is. It's a strong one. All right, Sam, what's been your favorite holiday destination to date?
Oh, I'd say Berlin. I love going to Berlin. Yeah.
Incredible city. I've been a couple more times as well. Love it too. What about you, Candi?
I actually would also say Berlin or it's Thailand. That was great. It was really hot and it was fun.
I hope it was.
Very nice because it wasn't European. It just felt like a whole another world. So that was great.
Amazing. Okay. Both of you again. This will be a fun one. Start with you, Sam. What is a fandom that frightens you just a little bit?
Oh, what fandom?
Fandom.
Yeah.
What's a fandom?
So think of fans of a fandom, so Star Wars, Game of Thrones. You know.
I don't know what to answer that one with. Okay. When people who are like into Harry Potter but they're adults and that's like their identity and they go around wearing shirts which are like mummy's a wizard or something. That.
You're a bad person, you're going to hell.
The that whole Potterverse thing can be a little frightening. Candi, do you have one?
Sort of anything with young teenagers, not like you know when you get well obsessed at that age. Like I was reading this thing about just like One Direction fans, those sort of people where you're just like, I don't think we have anything in common and I'm terrified of you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. For you, who embodies the rock star term? So that word rock star, someone says it to you, said, who's a rock star? Who would you think of?
You just got to be like Tommy Lee or something, right? Yeah. Or
yeah.
That's a typical rock star.
Yeah, I really like Skin from Skunk and Nancy. I like a politically, conscious, world-changing rock star. That's my type of vibe.
Oh, yeah, but absolutely great choice. But you're right, both embody it if you think of it, even if it's not always the positive and negative ways. There we go. All right, foodie one, sushi, yay or nay?
Yeah.
I'm a vegan, so vegetable sushi. Woo! What a way to make a food. Shit. But vegetable in your sushi.
Okay, Sam, do you collect anything?
Yeah, collect records.
Okay. Vinyl, tape, CDs?
Yeah, only vinyl now. Yeah.
Was the last vinyl you bought?
Last vinyl I bought was a album by Blank Mass. If you haven't heard them, check them out. Very good.
No. What about you, Candi?
Do I collect?
No,
I don't know if I collect anything. Just that's awful. Maybe I should have a hobby. I don't know what I collect. I just stuff. Probably Mary White clothes counts as a collection by now.
Yeah.
Recently, yeah.
All right, then sticking with you, Candi. What's an achievement you're quite proud of?
An achievement I'm quite proud of is that I don't know, I guess I'm a full-time musician. That's a pretty big achievement, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a full-time musician, which is great. Go team.
Absolutely. What about you, Sam? Do you have something different there?
Oh, what? I mean, I don't know if it's really achievement, just like my looking after my dog, right? That's a life achievement.
What's your dog's name?
Prince. He's a Chihuahua.
Prince the Chihuahua. That's nice. Absolutely. I've got cats here. I'd love a dog, but mine and my wife's work life would mean we couldn't look after one. Like, it wouldn't be fair. It'd be alone for too long and so on. So cats it is. They can be left for ages and nobody cares.
Yeah, Chihuahuas can't.
A couple more for you then. Candi, spring, summer, autumn, or winter?
I like spring. I like it, but it's not too hot. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. People feel a bit more hopeful. It's a good season, and it's quite nice. In Brighton, we have Great Escape, we have Fringe, so it's a good season to be alive.
Like it. Okay. What about you, Sam?
I'll go for summer. It's the one. It's the one in this country. When you get that little bit of summer, everything is better after the 8 months of winter.
Can't argue that. All right, back to you, Candi. The best Disney film song is what?
It is this. Oh God, what's that one? That, oh no, don't worry. I was gonna go through Disney catalog in my head. Circle of Life.
Okay, Lion King.
Oh, I sense you disagree.
Oh yeah, I do absolutely. But this is always with so many songs. Of course, it's going to be different.
Sure.
Hellfire from Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's dark. You've gone for a dark one there.
That's bloody good though. What about you, Sam? Have you got a different one amongst those?
All that jumps to mind is Hakuna Matata. That's the same film. Yeah, let's go for it.
I mean, there's so many.
That's the thing. There are so many. So it's putting you on the spot here. That is the idea as well. And that means we're going to end with one. And this comes from the guitarist of Future Palace, Manuel, who asks the question, create your favorite donut. So you can make your own donut. What's it going to be?
We're gonna it needs peanut butter on it for sure. So maybe it's like a Reese's peanut butter kind of donut.
Sweet.
And yeah, I'm just gonna go for that, like a Reese's peanut butter donut.
God, that's really good. That's really mine would be, I'm obsessed with Biscoff. Like, just maybe that's my collection. It's jars of Biscoff. So mine would probably be, yeah, just one that's got a bit of Biscoff in the middle. It's got a bit of Biscoff spread with little crumbled Biscoffs on top. Yeah, and maybe just a surprise bit of banana, because I really like banana in the middle.
Whenever I've met anyone who's obsessed with Biscoff, they often are the type of person to sit there and literally eat it out of the jar. Are you that type of person?
I've had to stop myself. It got out of hand for a while between that and then the Nutella. Just a scoop each counts as dessert, doesn't it? But now I'm allowed Biscoff if I go to the gym. I have Biscoff like porridge afterwards, and I feel like, yeah, I've earned that. Yeah.
Sensible thinking, but also what's super sensible is checking out Null and Void when it's released on Tuesday, the 23rd of April, 2024, as well as, of course, the show on the 25th of April in London at Blondies. Thank you both so much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at GBHBL. Just search for GBHBL and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.